So here we are in Westchester, Pennsylvania on a private course behind a home. The Stones course is basically a collection of 5 consecutive stretches, which are like mini golf holes, just working through the natural terrain of the land. This one starts where we're standing right here. It kind of works down this perimeter here. It works up into this area over here where we have these logs. The out of bounds on this side, one of the most critical points of a hole is that it has to have a very clear out of bounds. We just use timber that has fallen from the trees on site, working around here. If you go to the opposite side over here, there's gaps where we just use stones at, you know, different spacings so we can kind of see where a general line is. So this particular hole travels, follow me, it travels through here, kind of dips down into a gully here. It works its way around. Under this tree here, we have an elevated platform. This is called the landing. Every stretch goes from the beginning, which we call the launch, to the landing, which is where a hole ends. It's kind of like a golf green. In this case, bordered in stone, we filled it in with just on-site material. This entire hole, we didn't bring in anything. It's all here, it's all on site, it's clean, it's raked, it's ready for play.
Okay, here we are on the second stretch. Currently, it's only a 1-point game. It's my turn to throw what's called the mark. This is the target ball that someone would throw at during a round of stones. So since it's a 1-point game, I really have a choice of throwing it anywhere from 3 feet to the end of the current stretch, which is a landing. I'm comfortable with throwing up into this section, so I'm going to go ahead and do that and keep this mark in play. Now that I have the mark in play, I have to establish one of my stones. What that means is I have to keep one of my stones in play and try and get as close to the mark as possible. Now that I've thrown the mark, it's in play, and I've established a stone, it's the other player's turn in order to try and beat my throw to the mark.
With the white ball in play now establishes the closest ball, my job is to throw, or my team's job is to throw until we get a red ball closer than the white one that's there. Obviously the tree interfered, got to keep going.
So we continued that trend, alternating shots to see who was closer to the mark. At this point, red has thrown all of his stones, and now white, I have 2 balls in hand. As you can see, I'm currently sitting with 2 stones closer to the mark. But this red stone right here is closer than my white ball. With 1 stone in hand, I'm going to attempt to knock this out of the way and have all 4 of my balls land closest to the mark, scoring a 6 points. So with that shot, I moved his 1 stone, and all 4 of my stones now are closest to the mark. That nets my team 6 points, and we move on to the next round.
All right, so now that I'm down by 7 points, coming into this down 1, losing the 6, I'm down 7. We throw from this point moving forward. This is a spot. I'm throwing with 1 foot on there, so we know we all have a universal marker of where we're throwing from. I can now throw as far on the stretch as I want to now that it's my turn. Being down as far as I am, 7 points, it's advantageous to throw short, to give my team and myself a chance to catch up. So here, I just have to progress forward on the course. I'm going real short. I really need an opportunity to come back. Keeping my front foot on the spot, I now have to establish a red ball in play as close as possible. Not great! Not a great ball, but obviously it's in play, it's established.
So now it's white's turn. My foot is on the spot, and I need to beat that red stone towards the mark.
All right, me.
At that point, I was sitting with 3 stones closest to the mark. I had 1 stone in hand, so that actually gave me an opportunity to go for his closest stone to see if I could do the same thing I did last time and possibly 6 it. At this point, I'm up 10-1. I want to try and speed the game up to prevent my opponents from scoring more points. So at this point, I'm going to throw as far as this stretch will allow me, which is the landing. I have the mark established on the landing, so now I need to throw a stone to establish. As you can see, I missed my throw, which means I do not have any stones in play. So I have to continue to throw until I have something established. At this point, I took the safe route and just threw one in play to make my opponent's throw.
Lovely. So with 2 points here, Red's starting to close the gap. We're now at a 10-3 game. The landing has been played. Now that the mark is established on it at the end of a round, we now move on to the third stretch.